people get scared and they kind of seize up like, ah, drop, you know, and actually you want to get forward. Recession the crater like it's 88, man. Yeah. The technique is the same no matter how big the drop. The only difference is the hang time and the impact, but we'll talk about that when we hit the bigger ones. Here on the shore, every trail is littered with drops. So I want to kind of give you the fundamentals of how to do drops from the start, little ones, and how the technique on the little ones work into the big ones. Same thing, it's just more hang time, you know, maybe a little more cojones. When you're a human, you're walking around, you go downstairs, you jump off picnic tables, you know, we do a lot of drops walking around. And on the bike, it's pretty much, the physics of it are the same thing. Look at this little curb right here, right? I'm on this curb. So say I'm standing on the curb, and say I want to do a 2-foot jump off of it. What do? You compress, right? You do a little compress, and you drop. Yeah, it's like the same thing. Hey, drop off this. Right? Oh, hey, look, another bigger curve over here. Let's go over here. Check this out, the bigger curve. Look what else I'm doing. I lean forward, right? Imagine you're on your bike. When you come to a drop, a lot of people want to lean back. That's not the wrong thing to do. Look at, you're a human. You're going to jump off this. What do? You lean. What am I going to do? I'm going to look at my landing. I'm going to lean forward. So we'll get into it, how that applies to the bike. But we'll start with the little drops here on Fromme and go around the mountain and pick apart all the drops in a sequential manner. Get bigger and bigger, so let's do it. This is a classic shore dank day. Hey Luna, what do you think? You wanna go for a rip? Yeah, go hit some drops. And we got the first drop. So we're at the top of Bobsled and we have a little drop here. And it's not a huge drop, but I can see how this would be intimidating for a beginner. You can mess this up and crash. If I was to jump off this, on the end, I look forward, I lean, I compress, and I go forward. I put my feet underneath me. Now the bike is the same thing. On a bike, you have a little bit of speed and you would come in, and as soon as your front tire got to the edge, you would do a little compress and then jump off. So you would be rolling in with a bit of speed, kind of neutral the bike, compress, move a bit forward, and then push the bike out. If you don't lift out the front wheel, look what happens. It drops in the endo, right? When you come in with speed, you got to compress and then you got to lift up the front wheel and you want to run your rear wheel off and then land both wheels at the same time. If you're going really slow, you're not going to have enough speed to travel that far, right? So you come in, bit of speed, you compress, you go like this. Classic move. Front wheel drops, and that's where you end up. So when you do a drop like this, you need to come with a bit of heat. Compress so you can like roll off like that. You're doing like a little mini manual. You're basically manualing the length of your bike. Here, I'll do an example for you. Come with a bit of heat, neutral, forward, compress. I'm gonna do a couple bad techniques to show you guys. A classic technique, a common mistake, number one, that people are not forward on their bike. They stay back. And I can see why, kind of counterintuitive to get forward on a drop. But they come in like this, they say, ah, drop. And they're back here on their bike, their waist back, and they get here, and they go to lift their wheel, and look how far you gotta go before the weight is off. Look at, you know, classic too, the front end drops, endo, you know, dislocated shoulder or whatever. Forward, compress, lift, look, I'm off. And then what you do here is you shoot your bike out with your arms and then get ready for the landing. Come in neutral, a little bit of speed, forward, compress, forward, spot the landing, de-weight, push the bike forward, back into a landing position. That's kind of the same for every drop, like off that curb that I did in the beginning, this first drop that I did. We'll go hit some bigger drops on Fromme, and you'll notice that the technique is the same no matter how big the drop. All right, so here we are, top of Bobsled, first drop. Oh, I'm a little late. A little speed, forward, shooting the bike out. There we go, let's go. As you're working on technique as a mountain biker, you'll notice that you want to be more forward. And I don't mean like way over the bars, but you want your chin over your stem. Like right now, when I look down, I got the stem right below me. And then I kind of always like move back and forth, but whoa. But pretty much moving to and fro. I go forward, air, lean back. You're never really in the back seat, except if you're going to push out for a manual or something like that, but you always want to be a bit forward. Hey, Luna. Luna knows the shortcuts, of course. No air here. Prop. Nice. Oh, conditions are good here. Big double here. Little pull. Slippery bridge, you gotta stay high. Perpendicular. So good. I haven't ridden this trail for probably 6 months or more, but I always forget how fun it is. Air over the stump. Okay. So halfway down Bobsled here, famous drops. A little sizable than the first rock we went on, probably double the size of the small one, and 4 times the size on the big one. The bigger the drop, of course, the landing is going to get harder. It's going to be a bit more of an impact. So you gotta know that. You gotta be ready for that. This here has a nice downhill landing, right? So when you do drops, say I do a flat drop, you want to land basically compress both wheels at the same time. If that goes like that, you want to air, and then you want to angle the bike to the landing, right? Steeper, you want to nose in. As you get better, you can actually start to land on your front wheel. And the reason you do that is you have more control. Like the more you land on your front wheel and timing, the more you can like turn and control the front wheel. But for now, we'll start on just landing the wheels both at the same time. I'm coming in, compose, neutral, I lean a little forward, shoot the bike up, and then get ready for the landing and compress. In neutral position, make the corner, forward, shoot the bike up, compress. There we go, that's like 4 feet. Make the corner, forward, shoot the bike up, compress. You always want to be loose, Think like a cat jumping off a ledge or something. You want to like compress, extend, compress. These are your biggest shocks, your arms and your legs, Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Whoa. Oh yeah. Hey. We got a classic here, the crater, right at the bottom of Fromme. I thought it would be a good stop for us to talk about some technique and different line choosing here. The crater's actually gotten a bit smaller. I think this is eroded a little bit, and this drop is maybe only 1.5 feet, 2 feet, at the smallest. But then the classic line is off the corner here. And the cool thing about the crater is that it's got a nice steep landing. So you kind of come in, peel, spot your landing, and then do the same technique that we've been talking about. Very important, which I haven't talked about today, is to spot your landing on these drops. So always, when you're about to hit a drop, put down the bike, walk in, spot the landing, making sure there's no stones or logs, or maybe someone put some stuff across to stop mountain bikers because they don't like mountain bikers. But anyways, eyeball the drop. This one's good to go. We're gonna hit the classic first. Eyeball our landing, know there's nothing there. Come in, compress, push out. Yeah. Forward, out. This is a very steep landing. So as you can imagine, when it's steep, you're gonna carry speed out the bottom. And what you don't want to do is hit the brakes. You want to let the bike roll. So you want to feather the brakes or drag them, but you don't want to be like heavy on the front brake, initiating your weight forward into an endo or your front wheel sliding out. So you want to, when you land, you want to feel the acceleration a bit and just feather it. So the cool thing about drops too is that you can session them, right? On the crater, we have a lot of varieties here, a lot of different lines. Right now I'm going to go hit the right side one and like arc in, because the way the landing works is that that's kind of an opposing wall. So I'm going to work that wall kind of out and then kind of arc a bit and then in, and then I'll do this left side one, which is the opposite wall. We're sessioning the crater like it's 88, man. Yeah. A little bit more speed. Spot your landing, air, turn in. Yeah. Ready to drop in here from the top for this plum drop. See, it's kind of weird. Looks like I'm airing to the top of that tree when I do this. Coming through here, a little bit of speed. In. Plum. That's a tech drop. Gets my hair on my back standing up a little exciting. Oh, that was awesome. Ha! He was still getting pretty excited on this old crater. So I hit 3 different lines. I did one kind of the classic in the middle, and then I did an outside rider's right, and then I did a rider's left, which was kind of the scariest. It was the most technical because I didn't like fade away to a landing. It was like the landing was right underneath me, so I had to really manage my speed and kind of plop drop in. What I mean by plop drop is I come in slow and you plop in. When you start to carry speed, then you start to get into gaps, right? The difference between drops and gaps is that a drop is like slow and you're dropping, where a gap might be the same air, but you're kind of carrying speed and you gap out. And the gap is kind of like the distance from your where the takeoff to the landing. Drops are more plump, you're dropping in. Gaps are more when you have speed. Plop, plop, drop, gap. We're on ladies only here. This is an iconic digger drop. I want to come up and show you. Not that it's big or anything, but it does have an added element of a ladder bridge. Used to have to pedal off this one, and now he's changed the entrance to it, so I think you can coast off it. But you know, same thing, right? You come in, neutral, down, forward, launch the front off. Yeah, this is a nice one. Look at that. Gotta watch out for green rock. It's always slippery. So gotta get a little pedal on. Stop. Double up here, yeah. Inside, we're up stuck. We're on lower digger, freshly rebuilt, and this is a good drop to practice because it's kind of sizable. Like if I go to the landing here, you know, it's like almost a 6-foot drop, bit of distance, and it has a ladder. So if you're gonna step it up to 4, 5, 6-foot drops, good one to practice on because you can start to drop off there, and if you don't have the confidence, you can roll down on the ladder. Nice tranny. I like this one because you can peel from the outside and land here. This is what I always do. You know, I kind of look at the landing. There's a bit of a hole there where everyone lands. You can see that hole. And you know, nothing you can do about that because that's where the majority of mountain bikers go. But over here is pristine dirt. Look at this. So my line on this one is to come off the edge and fade out left. So it's a good evolution of like drops. You know, you can start to work the bike. You know, you don't have to go the same spot that everyone goes. You can like work the right side, work the left side. The right side of this one, of course, is roots, not good. Left side, perfect landing. So I'm gonna roll up and drop this for you and fade out to the outside here. Forward air. The cool thing about drops is that you can kind of session them, you know, and we're working our way around Fromme, hitting the drops, teaching you guys how to drop. And I remember this little bad boy. Look at this thing. Someone used to love this, but they don't love it anymore. It's become this derelict, old, fat to flat, as we used to call it, drop. Obviously it was a mountain bike trail, nice little corner there, but I think we should hit it. Look, it's about like, I don't know, I'd say this is a 6-footer, 7-footer, so a sizable drop. And you can see there's no landing, there's no tranny. If you don't have any forward momentum, it's like gravity, bam! You want to come with a bit of speed and cruise through. So I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna come right off the nose of this rock right here, and you can spot my tranny just on the upside of that little root. Yeah, this is a good one. Same technique: in, forward, off, extend, land, back to neutral. Oh yeah. Down the jank, corner, speed. Oh yeah. Oh. Jank, corner, speed. Oh yeah. Oh. The funny thing about jank drop is that it's the most tech out of all the drops I've hit so far. The reason is there's basically no landing here. So I'm trying to generate speed and there's no downhill running. It's a flat running, right? So look at this. So this is where I'm landing. As I say, I'm like a hair under 5'10". So, you know, that's kind of like my height there. So 5, 6, 7. It's a 7-foot drop, which is not small. you know, and I'm going out. I'm trying to like sniff a little bit of a landing here. Got this root there. Look at that. You don't want to hit that. And I saw a little downhill right here. So this was my landing, and I had to come out probably the same 6-7 feet. So 6x6, 7x7 on a flat takeoff. This got me sweating a little bit, man. But I had to get a little forward momentum because I didn't want to land here. There's no landing here. This is like a flat, bit of a rise. So I had to come out that far, and I barely made it. Let's go. Last one, the big dog. Big Scapulator. Let's go hit it. So we're standing here at maybe one of the biggest drops on Fromme that's, you know, on the books, legal. This one's pretty close to Bay & Powell. This one's called the Scapulator. It's quite massive. I'm like 5'10", and I'm hitting right here. So that would be, you know, we've got like a 10 plus. You know, this seems like 10 feet, I'd say 10, maybe 11 feet, plus a bit of a gap. You know, as the drops get bigger, you need more of a gap to kind of like, you know, match the physics, right? Because if you pump drop like that, you got to go so slow and drop in. So as the evolution of drops happened, the higher they get, usually the landing goes further out. And you can see this one's about, you know, I would say it's about 11 feet by 7 feet. So it's taller than it is long. And then you get into the gaps, you know, like gaps are more like where you got to pull and reach for it. But we're talking about drops on this pick apart. And I'm going to nail this one for you and talk about the technique. So, you know, same thing. You come in, a little bit of speed. You know, you kind of spot your takeoff, you know, and sometimes you can spot the landing, sometimes you can't. You come in, you kind of crouch, get forward, off, place the bike, neutral back on the bike. So the Scapulator, I'm a little scared. It's been a while since I've hit this, like 10 years maybe. Let's do it. You can easily overcook this one. Like, you really got to manage your speed, because I want to hit the landing right at the top and maximize the transition, because there's not much transition. And the further out you go, the harder of a slap it's going to be when you land. So yeah, I want to like just catch a nice steep part at the top there. It lines up pretty nice. You come over the roll into here, gain some composure, and then hit it. Like with any drops or any line that you're going to hit mountain bike in, give it an eyeball first. You know, you want to make sure that there's a clean in run. Very important. You don't want to get a stick getting caught in your spokes or something like that right before the takeoff. And then have a look at the landing and make sure there's no debris in the way, no rocks, anything like that. You can eyeball it. And then what I like to do is I like to walk back, and I like to see where you eyeball it. You can start to see where you land, right? Because that's your visual as you come in with a little bit of speed. Like right here, I can't see any landing. I just see trees, you know. And then I'm kind of like, okay, so I got like about a bike length, of visual, right? So I'm going to come in neutral. And right over here where I can start to see the landing, I'm going to crouch down, you know, get my active position a little forward, and then as my front wheel leaves, I'm going to extend my front wheel out, extend my arms, and then get ready for the landing. You know, because when you land, you kind of want to be like extended and then, you know, kind of absorb the landing with your body. Because, you know, I got like 180, 170, but you got more travel here. So you want a combination of like the fork to hit first, and then use your body to absorb the landing. And I say, like, you know, like you ever see a cat jump when they like dunk, you know, they're kind of like, they're very calm and subtle. They want to suck the energy up. And so on a drop like this, it's gonna be quite the impact. So you want to be like, take as much impact as, you know, much of the energy as you can with your body. And then maybe I'll do a couple little test roll-ups, and then we'll send it. You come in, line it up. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah. Whew! That's good. It's big. That's some hang time on there. That's a bit of a gap. I thought I was going to go a little more to my rider's left there, but I kind of landed right in the middle, which is good. Look at the size of that thing. Here we go. I hit it perfect. I nailed the landing right where I wanted to, not too deep. You can see how like this is flatter than up there, right? You want to, you know, they call it coping, like in skateboard parks and on dirt jumps. You know, you want to be as close to the top as possible. It's usually the steepest. And that's where the best tranny is. Looks like I nailed it right there. from the top. I was kind of hoping to go here because there's a nice little landing right there. Let's see if I can fade it out here a little bit. Throw a little steez on it. All right, rolling. Coming in, remember my line. Outside here. I'm gonna fade it a bit left here, a bit left. Oh yeah. Oh, that was good. That was a better landing, eh? I got the sweet spot landing there. It was perfect. The cool thing about that is you can kind of like throw it a little left. You just come in, you just like throw it left, knowing the landing's there. That was awesome. Yes. Oh yeah. That's a big drop. I mean, I would say it's like 15 maybe. Like by the time I'm hitting the landing, the trajectory, the what do they call it? The hypotenuse would be about 15 feet. I'm going to say even more, a bit more. That's a big drop, man. I feel good. Ooh, you get the buzz. And you know, same technique though from the little ones that we were starting on today. You know, like you lean it in, you spot your landing, you get forward, off, place the bike. Same as like jumping off a curb, doing the stuff on bobsled, right? The little one just in. The only difference is you got more hang time, so you don't want to, you know, it's just in the head. Like just believe in yourself and, you know, master those techniques on the little ones, and then you can step up to big ones like this. And the funny thing about this one is because you're carrying a little more speed, and of course it's the bigger drop, you don't see that landing until last minute. Like that's why you want to do a lot of run-ups. You want to do a lot of like, you want to like memorize. You want to memorize the line in your head, kind of like what DHers do when they walk tracks. You know, they memorize their line because they're coming in so hot that you gotta okay, I'm reaching left, I'm reaching right, I gotta suck up on this one. So on this one I saw a little pocket tranny on the left there, and I kind of second time went to hit that, which was good. But first time is more survival, you know, kind of like because I hadn't hit it. I don't know how it's gonna release me off the top, but you know, it's always good to do it a couple times. I always say you gotta do a drop a couple times, you know, just to lock it in.
Yeah, nice.
Good stuff. All right, well, we hit most of the drops on Fromme for this pick apart. I mean, apart from the super burly ones that you got to put some time in and rebuild. Scapulator ended with that one, huge, big, bit of a shiitake. Got the Jank drop, a couple off the Baden Powell there, and we're on lower diggers here on a nice one you can learn on, a beginner drop with a bridge. Step it up to about 5-6 feet. Bobsled. Yeah, we hit it all, you know, but the fundamental is the same thing. The fundamentals, you know, you want to be forward, aggressive, chin over bars, front wheel leaves, bike out, back in. And you want to land both wheels at the same time. You know, as you drop, kind of arc that bike. Steep landing, steep bike. Flat landing, flat bike. That's what you want, right? Also remember, flat landing, speed. You want forward momentum because you don't want to come in like a weight, like a meteorite coming out of the sky. What else? Proper gear, eyeball. Yeah, I think we summed it up. So hopefully I see you guys out on Fromme doing some drops, taking your riding to the next level, and we'll see you at the next pick apart.